And jumping straight into this tutorial, guys, I have already pre-curled my hair and clipped in my hair extensions. So now what you're going to do is we're going to start off by sectioning your hair. I like to sort of do a small ponytail where my parting sits. You can sort of do this in any direction, but today we're going to be creating a side braid. So I'm going to be using my side part. And I like to use a see-through elastic for all of my little mini ponytails. I just like the fact that you just can't see the elastic. It makes things so much easier. And I usually like to tie this about 3 times around my ponytail, and I'm going to give that little bit of a squeeze just to tighten up the ponytail. And we officially have our first little ponytail. So I'm going to clip that out of the way. And literally all you're going to do now is create a second ponytail just below that. And I'm going to include that piece of hair that I pulled out earlier. So you can kind of copy the amount of hair that I'm putting in here. Honestly, the more hair you put into each section, the bigger the bubble braid will be. So I like to sort of use quite big chunky sections, but it's really up to you. And now that we have finished tying our second ponytail, we can now unclip the other one. And what you should be left with is 2 perfect little ponytails, one just slightly above the other. And all you're going to do now is pretty much divide your first ponytail in half and then pull the ponytail below ponytail number 2 in between those 2 partings and clip it right up out of the way. This honestly just makes things so much simpler. It's really up to you if you want to clip it up or not. And then you are just going to actually fasten this with another see-through elastic, and then you're going to gently unclip the ponytail that's been clipped up and let it down, and officially you will see we have our first part of our bubble braid. And now you're pretty much going to do exactly the same thing again. So we're going to separate the top ponytail and then pull through the bottom ponytail and pull that up in between those 2 sections. Clip it up completely out the way, grab a little bit more hair, add it to the next ponytail, and then again tie this with a see-through elastic. Once we're done with that, we're going to unclip that top section and let it down. And you're pretty much going to continue doing this all the way through the braid down to the bottom, just adding a little bit more hair each time to each section, just to thicken up that bubble braid all the way down to the ends of your hair. So honestly, this is actually such an easy braid to do. In the beginning, it's a bit daunting and it feels like it's complicated, but it's honestly not. It's super simple. Just sort of watch the video and keep practicing, and eventually you will get it. You won't need to watch this tutorial again once you get the hang of it. And I really like this because it really doesn't take much skill to do this. You don't need to be a French braider or a Dutch braider in order to be able to do the style. You literally just need to have elastics, and I almost feel like it's almost a bit of a braid cheat, which I really like. The other thing that I really love about this braid, because you're using elastics in between each section, I just find that the braid stays in place. Usually because I've got such fine hair, I find my hair start to pull out of the braid and it starts to look messy, but that just doesn't happen with this style. Because of the elastics are in between each section, it just keeps it in place all day long. And we are finally on the bottom half of our hair, and you are literally just going to continue to do the same method. So literally separating the top ponytail in half and wrapping that around our bottom ponytail. Excuse me putting it in my mouth, but literally I had absolutely no helper. Honestly, this part is actually a lot quicker. You can, if you really wanted to, add more hair in, but I prefer the look of just sort of doing the braid on its own with this section. And just continue to do this all the way through to the bottom. And our bubble braid is officially complete. So if you want to make the bubble braid slightly more puffier and bigger, all you need to do is just tease the braid like I'm doing here for a more sort of casual, lived-in bohemian look, and therefore I'm going to give it a nice little tease and make it nice and fluffy. And this is pretty much the end result. I absolutely love this braid. I honestly think it is super cute. It's also great for those days when your curls have started to fall out, but you still want to sort of amplify up the look. I thought I would actually also quickly show you guys another way to sort of wear this braid. You turn this into a beautiful bun. So I'm going to do this really sort of roughly for you guys because this is not actually the reason for the tutorial, but just to show you guys what it would look like. I'm just going to take see-through elastics, tie my hair into a ponytail, and then just wrap that ponytail around each other just to create a very basic bun. Again, just showing you guys the style. And this is not necessarily the tutorial, and just put in some bobby pins into that. And yeah, I thought I'd just quickly show you guys the end result. I thought it was super cute, very romantic, and I thought it would actually be a great wedding style. Also really nice to wear for those really hot days and just something a bit different. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, I had so much fun putting this together, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
I won't go to therapy. I have a job, it's actually quite